One of the metaphors I've used often in therapy is this concept of being the rock in the river. And it's used as a way to respond to stresses in our life. And having used this metaphor recently, a client asked me to explain it, and I thought I'd make this video to be helpful to as many people as I can. The story came about when I came home from work one day and found my mother lamenting the fact that she was speaking to somebody on the phone who she really wasn't sure how to deal with. And my mother said, "I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what to do about being exposed to this stress." And I said, "Mom, just be the rock in the river." And she became very curious very quickly and said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Imagine being the rock and that you exist in a riverbed. And that rock is aware of the conditions of the river. It is aware if the river is very fast and has rapids, if it is meandering and slow, if it's flooded, if it's droughted, if it's boiling hot, or if it's frozen solid. And certainly the rock is exposed to those conditions and it gets warm and cold and wet and dry accordingly. But what I told the client is that if you split that rock in half and look at the inside, it's bone dry. The rock is aware of the stress of the river around it. But the river never happens to the rock. It happens around the rock. The rock is exposed, but it doesn't absorb. And one time a client challenged me and said, "Well, after millions of years, erosion, it kind of cuts down and changes the rock." And I said, "Certainly, stress can change us, but I'll make you a deal. I'll give you millions of years to be irrevocably changed into just a grain of sand from the rock you once were. But in these next 100 years, let's give ourselves at least permission to imagine that we're capable of knowing that there's stress and responding accordingly, but not turning into that stress ourselves. Allow ourselves the peace of being myself in this environment, as opposed to thinking that we are the environment that we're exposed to." I really do hope this helps, and feel free to share as much as you'd like. Thanks.